everyone. Welcome to Present but Clueless. My name is Rosalyn Keegan. I'm a marriage and family therapist. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, co-parenting. Last week we talked about divorce. This time we're going to talk about co-parenting. I'll allow my team to introduce themselves.
Yes. I'm Judah. I'm a poet and a youth pastor.
I am Paulette Rimo, a financial analyst and a youth pastor.
My name is Kelvin Zuze, aka Kingdom Child. I'm a rapper, a pastor, and a graphic designer.
Wow. Thank you very much for coming this time. So, co-parenting. So, basically co-parenting is when the mother and the father agree to bring up the children together, but living separately.
Yeah.
And we need to understand a teen is now experiencing different things. They are experiencing the identity. They want to find out about who they are. They want their independence. So co-parenting happens. Divorce happens, and the parents have decided to work together and bring out this child. So what do you think are the challenges that a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old girl or boy will be going through if their parents decide to co-parent? Judah, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think the challenges, some of them happen to be favoritism, where I'm treated better on this side than I'm told. There are so many rules. Let me just say rules and regulations not being equal in both homes. So one house is more flexible, the other house is very kind of like rigid and very strict.
I like you said 2 points. You said a point of favoritism and rules.
And the rules.
Maybe Zuze, you'd like to expound more on the rules, because one, daddy's rules, more often than not, daddy's rules are very flexible.
Exactly.
And mom's rules are they are on point. So what happens with this kind of a teenager who has different rules from different houses?
I think they don't know their limits sometimes. And it depends on the spaces that they are in. You know, they are not constant. Some spaces they'll break all the rules because that says it's okay. And some places they'll feel like they are not being given a lot of freedom because mom is always saying, no, don't do that, no, don't do that. So you can't really know that person entirely depending on where they are. They'll be unstable.
What about favoritism, Paulette?
Our favoritism is that if I ask dad for something that mom refused, so like I feel like kids can take advantage of that, because you'll go and you ask dad for something that mom said no, and then mom won't even know, or you go ask mom for something dad said, or if it's about being given money, you get like allowances from both sides, and you say you didn't get an allowance, or it even brings lies in there.
So actually these children are going to play you to like a piano.
Yes.
You know what is happening in their lives because you've got no idea. And you brought up this aspect of going back and forth for two houses. What happens to this child who's today depending on parents, on the parents? A parent take a whole week or 2 weeks. Some take weekends. Entire week and so. So what happened to? What do you think? I don't know if you've talked to children who have been going back and forth. What happens to them?
They're just super unstable, and it gets to like some of them make this so clear that they cannot sit like even for a minute. Like they have to fidget. Like they are used to so much movement in their life that even in their personal time, even in class or wherever it is, they cannot even sit for a minute. Because every time they're on the move. Like this weekend, I'm going to daddy's place, and then this activity will be happening. Next weekend, they are here.
They also they're most likely to have side pieces in their relationships when they grow up. Because I mean, like when something is happening in one place,
What do you mean by
like
side
a
dishes?
side dish.
Side dish, because
Other
Like
girlfriend
a girl over there.
yes, or boyfriends.
To go see on the weekend.
Yes, depending on how you feel. How you feel. If you feel like you wanna be more emotional, you go to this one. If you feel like you wanna
wanna
go on
be-
a date
Wow.
to some expensive place, you go to that one because that's how you
Wow,
know it works for
that's
you.
that's quite interesting. Like, that's
Yeah.
very interesting. I don't know about what about how effective or what is the impact when they see their parents now dating? Because divorce has happened. Now the parents are free to remarry or date.
No man.
Now that's a new family dynamic because those will be two different family dynamics.
Yeah.
Because you can now that's where even blended families come in.
Yeah.
Because you go, maybe this person, like the mom is dating a man who has other children. And then your dad is not dating, or your dad is dating and maybe is even dating someone your age. You know, things like those happen actually, and now that becomes a problem because I feel like first of all, when you bring someone else, you better tell your child you're bringing someone else. You need to have that conversation. You just can't bring someone like that, man.
But it's really some way when a 17-year-old is trying to date and then their mom is also trying to date somebody. Like, I'm also trying to figure out what this dating world is. Then I also come home and my mom also has a date.
Yeah.
Sometimes they feel like, is it
But
a
is
competition?
Is it you're saying mom? Am I is it because it's
Like,
mom?
both
Am I
ways.
a dad?
But like, so let's say for instance I'm 17
Yeah.
and then
Okay, you're a man.
yes,
Mhm.
I'm 17 and then I stay with my dad, and when I see a girl and I like and I'm trying to date her, and then my dad also tells me he's dating.
So you go for double dates. You're going for a double date with your dad.
I feel like that for parents, you lose your authority over that talk. You know, like obviously, if you're dating some other person, that means you struggled and you failed in the other one. So if I'm gonna date like 3-4 girls, it's not a problem because.
Wow.
So when dad has dated,
Because I'm
like,
not the first that you know, so you don't find yourself in a relationship that you can stay for long, or because you just think when things don't work you move on.
You go to the
Yes.
next person.
Yeah, you're not a fighter, or you're not somebody who sticks to that relationship. Yeah.
But anyway, a relationship, it all depends. Especially for parents, it depends if the relationships are busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it's busy, maybe this child, and you've walked and talked to this child,
Yeah.
the child may understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we do? What can we do to help parents who are co-parenting? Because that's the key thing. Because there's a parent out there who's actually listening, and is like, how can I be effective in my co-parenting? What are those things that we can help?
I believe communication. So both of you sit down, no matter the disagreements you have, both of you sit down, decide, you know what, this is what we want for our child. So in my house, in your house, we make sure the child sleeps at this time. We make sure they do this at this time. And not give them the way whereby if something should happen, I'm going to daddy's place because that's where I can do this. Why are you not allowing me to do this?
Yeah, something like be on the same page.
Yeah. And then they tend to use that to manipulate you to kind of like ease up a little bit, because I want them to love me just like they love their dad or they love their mom. Yeah.
What I'm hearing you saying is, parents, if you're co-parenting, you need to be on the same page.
Yes.
Please. Yeah. To avoid being manipulated.
Yes.
Yeah. Try and have the same values.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible
To
for those two parents to have the same values? Is it possible? I mean, have you walked? Is it possible? It can happen.
It can happen because I feel like you see the way you're saying, like, communicate. Also have like sit down, both of you sit your child down and say, so this is what we want you to, like, tell the child what you expect from them, the both of you, so that you don't expect something different and the father expects something different. So sit to the child and say, if this is the allowance, this is the allowance. We both agree. If this is this, and then be in agreement when you're making these decisions, so that the child can see you're united. So they won't play you the way they play parents, you see. So I feel like, so if you are together and you're united, then the values need to be the same. Yeah.
Even if one person doesn't agree, they shouldn't come and say,
Yeah.
we don't agree in the eyes of the child.
Yeah.
They should say, okay, what your mom said is right, you know, and then you can go talk to the mom and say, oh, you know what, I don't think this was right, and then you make a decision going forward together.
Yeah.
I remember when we discussed divorce last week, Paulette brought up the thing of competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and conflict.
Yes.
So basically, when these two parents agree on these things,
Yeah.
the conflict and the competition will go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now let's touch in the dating bit again. So once you've agreed on, because co-parenting, you're already single.
Yeah.
You might be divorced, you're single, or you've never married but you're just single.
Yeah.
A single parent.
Parent, yeah.
So when you bring in another party, don't you think it's very important for also the third party to understand the values, that the two of you had agreed?
Yes.
So that means you'll be like three parents
Sitting
in,
Yeah.
for this child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Which I
say
think-
something, Susie.
I feel like that is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because now it's gonna be like a job application where the guy is coming in and like, what are your values? State them. So in this house, this is what we do. But for me, I would say love. Just the biggest value should be love among us all, because I mean, love covers the marriage you'd have seen. I mean, we come in, we're not perfect and everything, but when a child is growing up in a place where people don't agree with each other or they have some differences, but there is love, they can actually see, because love is visible. I believe you can see that people are loving one another, they're being respectful and everything. That will solve a lot of things.
I want
Yeah.
to bring up the thing of love. I love my child so much, that let him watch TV, let him be on the phone until 10 o'clock, until midnight, until 3 o'clock, because I love you so much.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
So yeah, I mean, I want
Okay.
to be this
Okay.
one.
Mhm.
So if what exactly can help parents make sure that these values, because I'm still touching on this point of somebody else coming in, and they really want to impress,
Yes.
But
right?
I feel like
That's
Yeah.
the problem.
I
now.
feel like
That's
you
the
are,
problem.
if I am with you, if I am, let's say I'm a woman who's dating this man who's coming in, these are the same values I have that I'm instilling in this, in my child, right? So he needs to know my values. It starts with you as the one who's being dated. Because if he knows the values, he knows these are the values of the house. And I cannot start coming in and saying. So you should also instill the values you have. Right, so that it doesn't have to be that he's trying to come, even if he's coming to impress, he already knows the values, so he's coming to impress on whatever you stand for.
Maybe you shouldn't
Yeah.
come to impress.
Yeah,
that's
where
the
you get it
thing.
wrong.
Yes.
Because I mean, you're talking about letting the child be on the phone for like hours. That's
No.
not love. That's like actually destroying the child.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if he has seen the kind of discipline you instill and the values you instill, those are the things he should follow.
But I feel like sometimes some people also get into these homes and they want to be the favorites of the child, because like the child does not like me, so when the mom is not around, let me give them leeway to do whatever they want to do, so that then they like me.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's also
That's
That's
also really
insecurity.
wrong. Yeah.
yeah.
What
That
I
is
know,
insecurity.
very much insecurity. But what I know, it's very important. If you're co-parenting your child and you want to bring in something different inside the tripartite, it's very important for you to make sure before you introduce a child to somebody else, you really know very well this person. Yeah.
True.
And the person you're bringing in should also be able to understand your value. Even
Yeah.
as colleagues say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should not impress.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one you said, they should not really, because they impress, it's not love.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You're actually spoiling this
This child.
this child. But as we've agreed, we've talked about values, creating rules,
Yes.
being consistent
Yes.
in your co-parenting, yeah. But it's also very important to have a community around this children.
Yeah.
So what kind of community do you encourage parents having this with this kind of a child?
Maybe before we get to that,
Yeah.
is it a good idea for the child to go through some sort of therapy or
Yeah.
counseling so that they are prepared mentally that someone is walking into their house? Because I would be freaked out if I just see a guy or a lady in the house, you know. It also creates bitterness. You didn't consult me.
True.
Because when the kid is there and they know that you're a single person, they feel like they have some sort of authority also in the house. They need
Yes.
to be
Like this,
told.
their house.
I think I have
Yeah.
an example of that
Mm.
because there is a girl I used to work with. Because of the relationship she had with the mom, she didn't have to seek a therapist. The mom came and said,
Mm.
so this and this. So this person is gonna come. Like she actually sat her child down and explained.
Just prepared.
And the child was actually excited because she always yearned for her mom to seek love and to find love and to find that wholeness. So it's a matter of the kind of relationship you have before you even seek the therapy. If you have a good relationship, just sit your child. Tell them that, you know, I feel like I've reached a place where
I want to
I want to remarry or I want to bring another. You see, it's a matter of understanding and communication, as Judah said. Communication
Yeah.
is everything. Yeah.
And the aspect of community. What do you think?
Yeah. It's really important you create a community, not just you yourself and then your other spouse, but then include the church, your cell group, which for me, that is mainly your small group in church, where they keep you accountable and you can share stuff freely, and then they can help you to talk to your child and also to be there for your child in this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there are support groups for such things. Yeah. You get a support group to come help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. As we wind up on this topic on co-parenting, I think it's very important, if you're out there as a parent and you're co-parenting, is to have try and have the same rules, the
Yes.
same value, consistency, and this help so that you cannot confuse the child, and the child cannot play you as both parents.
Yeah.
And it's very important not to compete also, because
Yes.
also that confuses, it brings conflicts.
Yes.
Yeah, even as the child grows up, it may even damage their self-esteem, and even academic, they may not perform well. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's such a lively discussion, and I hope somebody picked up one or two things. Yeah, it's very important if you're out there and co-parenting. You need to have same rules, yeah, to avoid conflict. Have the same values, yeah, so that your child cannot have self-esteem issues. Yeah, they cannot even be affected academically. Yeah. Try and avoid confusion when you're dropping your child from this house from one house to another house. Thank you very much for watching us. Let's see you next Sunday as we discuss how to deal with your child's emotion. Thank you.
Bye.
Intentional Parenting will run a mentorship program for boys and girls aged 14 to 18 every 2 weeks for 5 weeks. Topics include social media, drugs and alcohol, career, sex and sexuality, identity, and parenting sessions for parents with registered teens. Registration is open now at 5,000 per teen. Classes begin on the 12th of September 2020. Contact us on the shared details below. Let us be the village for your teens.